Yo, what is going on, everyone? It is Trash Sweeper Trident here, back again with another COD Mobile video. In today's video, we're going over the Season 6 patch notes for Call of Duty Mobile called The Heat. Now, there aren't very many changes as far as buffs and nerfs to weapons and equipment, but of those that came, there are some things I've been waiting for such a long time, and I'm sure you'll be excited as well. In this video, I'm also going to be explaining some new weapons, modes, maps, all those other changes into the game. So make sure you drop a like if this video helps, subscribe if you're new, and let's get right into the patch notes. Starting off the nerfs, we have a massive nerf to the Thermite, the Thermity, I don't know another term, but the Thermite. I'm so happy about this, man. So the first nerf to the Thermite is going to be a slight decrease to the burn damage. So that means it's going to take longer to kill. That means you have more opportunity to run away from it damage-wise before it kills you. The second nerf that the Thermite received is going to be a decrease to the duration of the speed-reducing effect. So what this means is you may still take damage from the Thermite if you're really close to it. However, you won't be slowed down by it for as long as it is in Season 5. Now it lasts maybe around 4 to 5 seconds. In Season 6, it's going to be 1 to 2 seconds. So ultimately, this means you're going to be able to run away from Thermites much faster. The last nerf that the Thermite received is a slight decrease to the explosion range. So in Season 5 and prior, the Thermite could damage you within a 5-meter radius, but since this is a slight nerf to the explosion range, I predict it's probably going to be around 4 meters. So at the end of the day, Thermites are not going to be as good as they used to be, but sadly, I do expect to see a lot more Molotovs coming out now that Thermites got nerfed. The next two things that got nerfed are the axe and the baseball bat. So these actually got the same nerfs. It's going to be a slight decrease to the damage range. In Season 5, both the axe and the bat had around 5 meters range. However, in this new Season 6 update, they have around 3 meters, a little bit over 3 meters max range. You should really ignore the stat card that says they have 200 damage. That means nothing. You can't buff the damage on a one-shot kill melee weapon. I know that they decreased the damage range because I tested it out myself. The second nerf to the axe and the baseball bat got was a slight decrease to the time to land a hit. So since these both have a overhand swing, that means they're just simply going to have a higher time to kill. So from the time that you press the knife button to the time you actually kill, it's going to be longer than it was in Season 5. Now, the last thing that got nerfed was the Hawk X3. The first nerf is for limiting the lifting angle of the machine gun. So this basically means that you're going to have to be closer to your enemy to actually shoot and kill them. The second nerf is going to be decreasing the duration of it, so it's just going to last less. And lastly, it's going to reduce the flying speed, so you're going to be slower with it, and that means it's going to be easier to shoot down. Moving on over to buffs, the AK-117 is the gun that got the most buffs, the first one being for enhanced hipfire accuracy. So in the patch notes, it says that this is without any attachments. What this means is it doesn't matter what gunsmith you're using, you're going to consistently have better hipfire accuracy than you did in Season 5. Moving on over to attachment-specific buffs for the AK-117, when you use the Odyssey Marksman attachment, you're going to have decreased vertical recoil and decreased horizontal recoil. So back in Season 5, you used to have minus 15.4% to the vertical recoil and minus 3.2% to the horizontal recoil. In Season 6, you're going to have minus 15.7% to the vertical recoil and minus 10.8% to the horizontal recoil, so a big buff for the horizontal recoil. Now in the patch notes, it says the MIP lead extended barrel also got a buff for ADS time. So in Season 5, it used to be plus 11% to the ADS time. In Season 6, however, it is still plus 11% of the ADS time. So unless they messed up on the stat card, there is no change for this attachment, even though it's listed in the patch notes. The YKM integral suppressor for the AK-117 is also getting a buff for decreased ADS time. So in Season 5, it used to be plus 7% to the ADS time. In Season 6, it's only plus 5% to the ADS time, which is a very minimal downside to a barrel on an assault rifle. The 40-round extended mag on the AK-117 also got a buff for increased movement speed. So in Season 5, it had a minus 1% reduction to the movement speed. In Season 6, they're probably going to be completely eliminating that. So the only downside is going to be extra reload time. So in Season 5, it used to be plus 5% of the reload time. In Season 6, it's probably going to be around plus 3% of the reload time. Now the 48-round extended mag got the same two buffs. just for different stats. So in Season 5, it was minus 5% of the movement speed. In Season 6, it's only minus 1% of the movement speed. And the reload time. So in Season 5, it used to be plus 9% of the reload time. In Season 6, it is plus 7% of the reload time. Finally, moving on over to the second gun that got buffed, the DRH. So without any attachments, this received a buff for slight adjustments to bullet spread. So this means it's going to have better bullet spread with any gunsmith build that you use. And this is great because the DRH has been known to have bad bullet spread, which makes it not a viable weapon at longer range. And I still don't think it will because it's just a slight buff. The DRH is also going to have 2 attachment-based buffs. The first one for the 25-round OTM mag, which is something that I personally prefer. This is going to have decreased ADS time. So in Season 5, it used to have plus 8% ADS time. In Season 6, it has plus 6% ADS time. The 30-round OTM mag is also getting a buff for increased movement speed. So back in Season 5, it used to be minus 3% of the movement speed. Now in Season 6, it only has plus 2% of the movement speed. This attachment is also getting a second buff for increased ADS movement speed. So back in Season 5, it used to be minus 7% of the ADS movement speed. In Season 6, it's going to be minus 5% of the ADS movement speed. The next gun that's getting a buff is the Striker. So the first buff it's getting is increased damage range without any attachments. Like I said, this is with any gunsmith build, the damage range is just going to increase. Then the reload speed is also increasing, which is very much needed. If you've ever used the Striker, you'd know this has the slowest reload time out of any gun in the game, so that's good to see. And the last buff that the Striker is getting is a slight increase to the ADS bullet spread. This buff doesn't really do much for the Striker. It's still a potato gun, in my opinion, so this is just going to make it a little bit less potato, but definitely not meta. Moving on over to the MK2 marksman rifle, the 30-30 ammo attachment got a buff for increased head part damage multiplier, which I don't think is going to do much because the head is already a one-shot kill. So unless I'm just reading this wrong, I don't think it's going to do much. The main downside to using this attachment is you're not going to have a one-shot kill in the hands and just the limbs. So I would just stick to using the MK2 without this attachment if you're going to use it. The sickle is also getting a slight increase to the damage or range. So after testing the kill range of the sickle in Season 6, it's going to have a max of 2 meters range, whereas keep in mind the bat and the axe is still going to be a little bit over 3 meters. And the last buff we're getting is to the bull charge's charging speed. So every time you kill an enemy, you're just going to regenerate more of your energy back, so you can get your bull charge a little bit faster than you did in Season 5. Moving on over to other changes, we are getting a new sniper rifle added into the game called the Rytek AMR. Now this is going to have very slow mobility compared to other snipers in the game, even with a very fast ADS build. And it's going to be very similar to the Kilo's thermite reload, since you can have a 25x 59mm thermite mag on it, which, you know, is very similar to the Kilo marksman rifle. So I really don't think it's going to be that OP in multiplayer, maybe just more of a troll weapon. I did forget to mention this is coming through a seasonal challenge, so it will release a few weeks after the season starts. Now, we are also getting a new SMG called the MX9 through the Battle Pass at Tier 21. This is going to be really good at close range with a very fast fire rate and a base magazine of 35 rounds. Now, I don't have much data to compare this to other weapons, so make sure you're subscribed because I'm going to be releasing statistics and a gunsmith on it as soon as it drops. We are also getting a new score streak added into the game called the Swarm. Now, this is unlocked through the Battle Pass at Tier 14, and it basically just launches a swarm of hunter-killer drones into the air that are honestly very easy to die to. So if you're going for a nuke, don't get these because you might kill yourself. But it may encourage other players to start using cold-blooded more if you don't want to die to these hunter-killer drones. They are also adding a new melee weapon in the game called the Wrench through a seasonal challenge, so that'll be interesting. They're also adding back OG Nuketown, which is something we've been asking for such a long time, along with the thermite nerf, so you already know it's going to be a good season. Now, they're also adding a new map called Slums, which was a competitive map back when Black Ops 2 was played competitively, so I think this is going to be a ranked map. Also, if you die while calling in an operator skill, you will have it in full once you respawn, so you'll be able to use it again, so no more wasted operator skills. Now, this applies to everything except the gravity spikes. So if you die midair while using the gravity spikes, when you respawn, you won't have it at all, and you'll have to restart from scratch. They are also adding multiple sets of score streaks for your loadouts. So maybe if you want to have a sentry gun as your top score streak for your sniper class, and maybe you want to have an advanced UAV as your top score streak for your SMG class, you'll be able to do that. They are also adding the ability to have 2 different HUDs, so this is very useful. Maybe if you're transitioning from being a 4-finger claw player to maybe a 6-finger claw player, it's going to be easier just because you'll be able to switch back to your old HUD for any reason. Now they're also adding a new game mode called Undead Siege through Battle Royale. So this is zombies, but in Battle Royale. It's a special game mode, just like Alcatraz. It's going to be a separate game mode where you're going to have to survive 5 days and 5 nights and just basically kill zombies. And you'll be able to get 25 exclusive rewards from this Undead Siege game mode, like weapon camos and character skins, just like a zombies game mode had when it released originally. This is a limited time game mode, so make sure you play it a lot if you want to see zombies return by itself in the future without Battle Royale. The last change I want to talk about is the new Ether Crystal Completionist camo. To unlock this, you only need to kill 50 zombies in a completed Undead Siege match 6 times to unlock. So really easy to unlock this camo. And in my opinion, it's the best camo in COD Mobile. It's a really vibrant purple, like the Dark Matter skin, but free and grindable. So I know everyone's going to be grinding for this, including me. Also, they added free death effects, so make sure you go to settings, go to audio and graphics, go to effects, and you'll be able to select both color and different types of effects. And I personally like the blue electric shock. This is actually not just a kill effect, but a hit effect. So every time you hit marker someone, you're gonna see that pop on your screen. But that's gonna go ahead and do it for the video. These are not all the minor changes that they added. I only talked about the most important ones at the end, just because the video would be like 30 minutes long if I talk about all of them. So I will be including a Google document down in the description with the less important minor updates if you wanna check those out. But I covered pretty much the most important ones. So if this video helped at all, make sure you drop a like, subscribe for new, and I'll see you in the next one. I have so much content coming for Season 6. I'm so excited. Peace.